What's up, everybody? It is the Best Bot Kid Smooth, and I am back with another video. Today I want to talk about Xbox Bethesda and their upcoming E3 showcase. Now, it's been announced for June 13th, so that is a Sunday, so I'll be able to watch it. That's going to be great. I'll probably be doing a live reaction with the rest of the Planet Xbox crew, so hopefully that goes well. But I want to talk about this whole narrative of lowering the expectations. I've seen tweets, I've seen videos. I don't know if it's people responding, kind of reacting to some of the things Jeff Grubb said, or even some of the things even Rand has said. Now, my thing is about these showcases and expectations and when to be excited. I don't understand the notion of lower your expectations, or don't expect too much, or maybe next year. Why where is this coming from? Yeah, I understand there's insiders, there's people who have access to information that I'm not privy to, but my thing is, are they access to the full entire show where games are demoed and showcased in front of them, and then they can then judge and tell everyone, hey, this is not going to be good, right? Is it like that, or is it reacting to names or what's probably missing from the list that they would like to see? So my thing is, why do one lower expectations? Why must I lower my expectations? Why is that being pushed again this year? Now let's go back to last year and why I was a little bit disappointed. And it wasn't really, I wasn't disappointed in the show, right? It was more so that knowing, hey, it's summer 2020, next generation Xbox launches in November, and I'm expecting to know, all right, all the launch games and what games are coming out when, where, and all this other stuff, right? And when the showcase came around, we had Halo Infinite gameplay, which looked good to me, but didn't look good to everybody else, so that got a lot of backlash. And then there was a CGI trailers to a bunch of big announcement, new games that I was looking forward to. If you showed me on a piece of paper, I would have been excited. But what made the show, not even the show disappointed, what made me, after watching the show, disappointed was like, damn, what is coming out for the Xbox Series X? Is it just Halo? And then after Halo got delayed, it was really nothing. So my thing was, every game that they showed outside of Halo seemed maybe 2, 3, 4 years down the line, because they were all presented in CGI showcase where there was like no gameplay element associated with any of these games. That was the disappointing part, was the fact that in November, none of these games will be in sight, and that they're not going to be within the first 6 months, or maybe not even within the first year of release. That was the major disappointing part about the Xbox Game Showcase last July, because I watched it hoping to get a clearer picture of what was going to happen with the Xbox Series X launch on a software side, and it didn't answer that question. It showed me what Xbox is going to look like during its midlife cycle, like 3-4 years in. And I mean, I understand we want to see a roadmap, but that's not I wanted something with that immediate feedback, and we didn't get that. So that's what made last year's show disappointing for me. It wasn't the games, because I think I'm excited for all the games that were announced. The hype is there. I'm looking forward to all these games. It was the fact that I was watching that show with intentions to find out what was going to be at launch or within the launch window of the Xbox Series X, and it did not answer that. Now, 1 year later, we're going to E3 2021. Xbox now has Bethesda under its umbrella. I mean, they've added a ton of features to the console. They've kind of done a whole lot of goodwill with consumers. A whole year has passed. More progression on games that have been announced should be answered. Now, why should we lower our expectations? The only way, when somebody says lower your expectations, all right, if I'm expecting a full-blown Hellblade 2 gameplay reveal demo at the stage, and that's not there, and that was the only thing I was expecting from the show that would make me excited, then yeah, I will get that notion. But I don't know what's going to be there. If Hellblade 2 is not there, all right, my expectations are adjusted. Let me take my anticipating Hellblade off. What else are they going to show in its place? We've seen Perfect Dark, the CGI, in December. Do I expect to see an update on there? I don't know. Avowed, I don't know. But Clobrill's tweeting we should see 5 brand new games that we haven't seen before, and I do expect updates to games that have been announced. And then we heard that Microsoft heard the feedback about the lack of gameplay last year and they want to focus on gameplay this year. So what do I take from that? Why should I lower my expectations if last year it was a disappointment due to lack of gameplay, and now this year they're going to make up gameplay? So what does that mean if they're going to be showing gameplay? That means they're going to be showing games that are much closer. Something that are, scheduled for later this year, early next year. I mean, they released the image. It looks like Halo, Starfield, Forza are going to be pretty much the main headliners, because it may appear that those are the closest games that are coming, whether it be 2 of them this year or 1 of them early next year. Those seem to be the closest games, but there's a lot of unknowns. So they said games, new games. We know new games, new IPs, more Game Pass news is a definite. Maybe a studio acquisition. Obviously, like, Game Pass is going to be a thing. So my thing is, why would one lower the expectations? See me, right? I'm in a situation where I have high expectations, but I do not know what to expect, because I kind of fell off the rumor mill and just been playing things as is. You know what I mean? I know nothing's off the table. Xbox, I thought it was impossible for Xbox to buy a publisher like Bethesda, but they did. It's already done, and they're operating under Xbox now. I mean, who's next? So it's like I don't want to go too far off so I'm kind of like off the rumor mill, right? So I know about all the games that were announced last year. Am I excited to see more of them? Sure, I would like to see updates to them, but I don't know. I don't know what they could possibly do to make my expectation, to make it a bad show. I mean, let's go back to the May showcase last year when it was all those double A's and the indie games, and then the big headliner was Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Yeah, if they repeated that, that would be bad. Now, if you're telling me that Xbox 2021 E3 is gonna be a repeat of Xbox May showcase from last year with all those the Xbox Series X first look, and it was all like indie games and AA material, then yeah, I'd be like, okay, that would definitely be. And then you back that in the headline that is going to be Halo surrounded with all that, then yeah, I would be extremely disappointed. But I'm not seeing anything of where I'm like, I'm going to temper down. If Xbox have guns, they shouldn't put anything back. PlayStation has been beating Xbox over the head in the games department in terms of reveals. I mean, Returnal came out this year, had a good reception. I personally don't like the game, but has good reception. It's been in the media eye. People are playing it. People are talking about it. They had a state of play. Ratchet & Clank is being argued as the best looking game ever. It had state of play. Everybody's watching it. Got a whole lot of views. It's on everybody's radar. It comes out next week. They don't need to do any more news or updates in regards to Ratchet & Clank. It's going to be the #1 seller next month. It comes out June 11th. I mean, and that's 2 days before Xbox's E3. Horizon Forbidden West just had a state of play, and that the reaction and reception and the views to that has trumped the last 3-4 PlayStation state of play. So that's usually a good sign, good indication that the game's going to sell well, it's going to do very well, it's probably going to review well, and it's slated for later this year. So if I'm Xbox, I have nothing to hold back. I'm going out like, you want to win that mind share. You want to stay, like, Xbox did a good job for the first couple months of this year of staying on, like, in the spotlight with like subtle news Game Pass drops, the Bethesda merger, everything. They've been like kind of just been hitting, and where they haven't been hitting is in first party content, and they need to do just that. Matter of fact, I personally feel like Xbox would be better served with state of play style affairs. I feel like, after this E3, you should start each month focusing on one of your games. I think Psychonauts 2 could use a state of play type showing, demoing, and expressing the differences between the series consoles and all the other consoles, and what they were able to do since joining Xbox, and how much the game has grown and whatnot. I think they should be able to do that. these are like free, literally free advertisements, free hype getters. PlayStation does a good job with this. I feel like Halo, the next time Halo, this should not be the only time we see a demonstration of Halo. Halo from now on should be on like our mind. So I feel like you need to go in depth with a multiplayer demo stream, maybe sometime in the summer. Whatever other game that's potentially coming out, Forza Horizon 5, if that's a thing, you do that. I feel like Xbox would be better served with those 20-minute just focus on this particular game of this upcoming release, and that would gain the attention. This whole waiting once a year type thing to talk about a bunch of games, and that's it. And then if they don't release that year, you gotta wait another year to get another. I'm not a fan of that. I do like PlayStation's approach with how they roll out their games, and it's just state of play, be anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes on some of the games, depending on how much they want to show. I think Xbox would benefit for something like that as well. Now, if your expectations for E3, I say if you have low expectations for E3 just because it's Xbox for the get-go, keep those expectations. If you have high expectations, keep them. You know what Xbox have done over the course of the year to put those expectations that high. We know they have the most for in-house first-party studios than any other publisher. I don't know, THQ Nordic or Focus on, they may probably have more. They buy a lot, I think, but they definitely, out of Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox has more. They have the most. So there should not be any lower of the expectations. If you have high expectations, mid expectations, low expectations to begin with, keep them. And I just hope those expectations are met. But I'm not gonna temper or lower anything, regardless of if Hellblade 2 or Perfect Dark shows up to the show. That's not gonna make me less, because I'm like, okay, if they're not gonna have to be at the show, then what is at the show? I don't want to see any fucking Bambi simulator. I'll tell you that. I don't want to see any of that crap. I don't want to see any of the. Xbox has rolled out this ID at Xbox Showcase where they have like a montage of like, I think 5 straight montages of games where the developers can speak on those projects. Do not, I repeat, do not waste any of E3's time with those type of projects like you guys did in 2019, because that was just pitiful. And I think Xbox should be fine. Is it Bethesda and Xbox merger? Bethesda's not having an isolated show. Xbox isn't having an isolated show. It's a show together. So really, you should really expect banger after banger after banger without the fluff. So whatever fluff Xbox used to add to the show, they don't need it no more. Whatever fluff Bethesda used to add to their show, they no longer need it, because now they can just all put out their quality stuff on Front Street without the fluff. Now they have time fillers. I'll see you guys at Xbox E3. Hope it goes well. Peace. Oh, Xbox is the best box, and I am the best spot. Hope you guys don't hear my kids in the background screaming for no reason. But that's the video. See you guys later.